everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I talked about in my last crochet video that the next thing I planned on doing was going to be utilizing all the yarn that I already have to do a couple of projects, only using that yarn, not buying new yarn. So in this video I'm going to show some of my yarn stockpile, and then at the end show everything that I did end up making with all this yarn. And I especially wanted to do this because I do make some yarn haul videos sometimes, but I think that it's always good to utilize things you already own in order to just not overconsume too much, because I do see a lot of people who say that it's their hobby to buy yarn, it's not their hobby to crochet, or people like collect yarn, which is fine. I've seen a lot of people's like yarn collections, like sometimes they have a whole room or closet for it. I just have these cubbies behind me, but a lot of people have like a ton of yarn in like a ton of different colors, and it's all like color organized and everything. And I guess if you know that you're gonna be using the yarn eventually, it's fine, but I just don't like the whole buying something just to buy it, because there's just already a lot of overconsumption going on in the world. So when I do buy yarn, I like to have a plan for the yarn, or at least think to myself, what could this be good for in the future, and not just buy it because I think it's a pretty color or anything. I mean, sometimes I do that and then I want to figure it out later. It's fine to do that sometimes. I just don't think that it's necessary to buy like so much yarn and not be using it. So that's why I'm gonna show everything that I have left over from projects that I bought yarn for, and then I just had like a ton left over, because I mean that happens a lot too, like you want to buy more yarn than you think you're gonna need, and then you could have a lot more left over than you would think, so they can be utilized for a lot more projects. So we're gonna take a look at my cubby and all the like extra yarn that don't fit in the cubbies. I'll explain some of the things that like what they're saved for. Like for example, this is velvet yarn that I've gotten as a gift in the past. Like someone bulk ordered me velvet yarn, and it's still like, it's years later, I still have it because I really only use it for scrunchies, and like scrunchies don't take that much yarn, but scrunchies are big sellers at craft fairs, so it's nice to have this. So this is the cubby of velvet yarn that I kind of don't deal with until I need to make scrunchies. This is a cubby of yarns that are specific for a hat that I sell on my Etsy shop. So those are the type of things that sometimes I do bulk order, or just order like in case someone makes an order on my Etsy shop for certain things. So a lot of these colors are for like one specific hat. And then also this is something that I started and didn't finish because I'm certain that I don't have enough yarn for it, and I don't want to find out. So that'll be like way in the future dealing with that. Then these are all like leftover things. So I said in my last video I want to do a wavy sweater, wavy striped sweater with shades of green. So I'm definitely going to go for, I wasn't sure if I wanted to use the gray or if I wanted to save the gray for something else mixed with a black, but I think I do want to use the gray for this sweater. Use this green, gray, this green, and this green. And then we weren't sure about using the teal for it, and I'm actually leaning towards not using it and using the teal for something in a blue range. I don't know what that is yet. The first thing I want to do before all of that is use this yellow and this purple mixed with this blue and this green to make a wavy striped sweater, but the sleeves are going to have tulips on them. So I want to get that out of the way first because I'm nervous about the amount of yarn I have of these two and if they're enough. And I know I have enough of these ones, but I want to see how much of the green is left over, because if it's a lot, I will also use this green in the green sweater. So that is the first thing I want to make, because it just makes sense to get that out of the way. I have these two big brown yarns that I don't have a plan for yet. A lot of times before I bought this brown, I would have situations where I was like, oh, I wish I had brown yarn, because I like thought of something that would be good with brown yarn. Now I don't remember what any of those things are. And then I bought this brown yarn, accidentally bought too much of it for a blanket, and now I just save it because brown yarn I know can be useful for something, just don't know what it is yet. I'm going to be utilizing this burnt orange for a cardigan. I don't have a lot of, actually I only have one cardigan left in my rotation for like craft fairs. And then we're gonna go over to the other cubby side, because this is what we're gonna be doing, except it's not gonna be this thing that I already started, because this orange is a different orange. It's from the dollar store, but then I couldn't like keep finding that orange at the dollar store to keep working on this cardigan. This is probably from like a year ago, and I just stopped working on it. And now the plan is to take this apart. I have a lot of the maroon right here. I don't have a lot of the teal, and actually this might be where I add in brown too. Obviously it's going to be like fall colors and like kind of earth tones. So I'm planning on doing definitely the orange, not this orange, but orange and maroon stripe, and then throw teal in, but teal is going to be like not consistent stripes, like it's just going to be a random stripe in there, because there's not enough of the teal to make it part of the consistent striping. Then I might add the brown too to that. That might be helpful. This orange is an example of something that I kind of stockpile for potential Etsy orders, because I have a cardigan on my Etsy shop that is orange, black, and gray, or orange, black, and purple, or I might have both. I can't even remember. It was originally custom order, and I kept it, and I got a couple more orders after that, so then I bought a couple of the yarns. So I'm just going to keep that for now in case I get more orders for that, especially since fall is approaching. Underneath my cubbies down here, I have a yarn caddy. That's where I throw the rest of the scrap yarn, like when it gets so little that I'm not going to use it for a big project. So you might have seen my previous scrap yarn sweater in a past video. Obviously I'm planning on doing that again. Let's go back up. These are for watermelon hats available on my Etsy shop. Some of these are also like just Etsy shop things that I have to keep in stock, at least a little bit. So going back to the blues, I'm not sure. I love doing wavy striped sweaters, but I'm already planning on doing two, although one I might keep. The tulip one I in my brain was already keeping. But I once made a sweater that I've showed in a previous video that was like half a solid color, and then the other half, like it was like one sleeve and then half of the sweater was the solid brown, and then the other half was a striped pattern. So it was like, it looked like two sweaters sewn together, and I did want to do that again because I really loved that concept, and I'm not sure if maybe these are the colors to do it with. I wasn't planning on using that purple. That's from the last heart sweater I made, if you saw my very last video where I did do a yarn haul, because that purple is actually the same purple that I use for the border of one of my Etsy cardigans and sweater vests. So I just figured I would just keep that as like a stockpile situation for when I get orders of that, although I don't get orders of that very often. As you can see back over here, I have all of that yarn. I stockpile the Joanne like Pride yarn, and this one is the bisexual flag color. It's the one that I get least amount of sales on, so that's why I just like have a whole copy of them. So, and then I have some of the, do I have some of the purple? Oh, it's here. So like that's enough that I don't have to like keep this one. By the way, these are on a giant banana. But I don't know, that's gonna be like a couple projects in, so hopefully by then I'll have more of an idea as I just like sit on the couch, and the TV's right here, so when I'm watching TV I'm also staring at these cubbies, looking at the colors next to each other and being like, that actually looks good, which is how I ended up wanting to do these colors, because they just happen to be next to each other, and I just stare and stare and stare, and then I'm like, you know what, I really like those colors together. So that is the plan so far. I'll come back with updates of how projects are going, or I might just jump to finished products. We'll see. Also, my heart sweater is still hanging up, so if you didn't watch my last video, that's what I was referring to. And I did mention in that video, and I'll mention it again, that this blue is so much more green in person. Like, it's like a seafoam kind of color. It is marked as teal, but like it's more green than how it shows up blue on camera. Okay, I'm gonna start this guy. I'm making it in a 2X. Also, in my last yarn haul video, when I was editing it, I realized I should have said the date that I started. I did say like about how long things took me to make, but I couldn't really remember every time, so I will try to remember to do it in this video. So today's July 15th and I'm starting this sweater in a 2X. I also forgot to mention that if there's leftover of this blue, I might use that in the blue sweater. So another reason why it's good to start this one first. We'll see how it goes. It's 11 o'clock. I got this far, but then I got distracted and I started making something else. I started thinking about tic-tac-toe boards, and I looked up some cute ones that people have made. Then I decided to do a s'mores themed one. So this is the chocolate and marshmallows that I just worked on, and then I'm gonna make a graham cracker board. It's the next morning and I just finished the pouchy part, the graham cracker part. It looks so cute. And then this is a drawstring bag, so you can just collect all of these. Oh no, I dropped two. And put them in the bag. The bag didn't need to be this big, but I thought it'd be cute to have like a big game board. Okay, here's all the pieces. They just go in there. And then I put the drawstring in the back. Cute. And I thought of another good idea for one that I didn't see online yet, was a checkered, like picnic blanket looking board. And then the pieces would be like a strawberry or an apple and an ant. I thought that was like a really cute idea, and then I wouldn't have to do the surface slipping because I literally hate surface slip stitch so much, although this wasn't that bad. Then I would just like, the boxes would be the checkers, so I thought that was a good idea. Then when this comes undone, it's a rectangle again, or a square. Update, it's July 20th. I had to take a break from that sweater because I got a couple of Etsy orders. So here's one of my finished Etsy orders. I'm about to package this up, and then the next order is a cardigan. But for that sweater, I was really close to being done. I only had like 10 more rows on one of the sleeves and then just had to sew it together. So I think that I'm gonna work on that like a couple minutes of the day in between working on the cardigan, since the cardigan's gonna take me a couple days. It's the 23rd now. I've just sewn this together. I did 2 of my Etsy orders and shipped them out, and I actually have 2 more Etsy orders, but the yarn is still shipping to me, so those are on hold. That's why I had the time to sew this sweater together, and then I want to sew on flowers on the sleeves. So, but I want to put the sweater on to see where the flowers should go. So I'm gonna put it on, and then hopefully I can like attach it with the bobby pins or something to see where I can sew them. Here's the sweater on. It's so comfy and soft. So I think I want the flowers to be like forward facing instead of in the middle on the side. It would be like when you're facing forward, it's gonna be like right up here. Okay, I hope these can stay on while I take this sweater off of me. Here is the finished sweater. And next I'll be working on the green stripe sweater after my Etsy orders. And for the big browns, I'm gonna be making sweater vests with little pumpkins on them. And this is how this scrap yarn been is looking so far. It's now the 28th. I had a couple Etsy orders, so I had to take a break from the other project I was doing. I wanted to show this one cardigan that I made for an Etsy order. It's my candy corn cardigan, and a couple of my other fall cardigans are really popular in my Etsy shop right now. I just got another sale for the same as this, except instead of yellow it has black, so it's orange, white, and black. And I've also gotten a couple messages about those two cardigans, like customizations and stuff like that. So I still have to do one cardigan after this, and then if I don't get any more Etsy orders, I'll be going back to my scrap yarn projects. It's the last day of July, and I just finished this Etsy order. It's the last Etsy order, so hopefully after this I have time to start working on those other sweaters again, unless I get more Etsy orders. It's August 3rd. I'm about to finish the green sweater today, so this is what the body looks like. And all I had to do is sew it together. And then I did thicker stripes for the sleeves. And I actually did like the same repeating pattern, but a different starting color for each sleeve. So that they would have different cuffs. I thought that would actually look cute. I'm hoping it is going to look cute when I sew it together. Hoping the thicker stripes looks cute too, because I kind of just did that out of laziness. Because the stripes on the body are just one row each, which I kind of regretted after I started making it. I thought it would have looked better with two, but then I was kind of already committed. But it looks cute now that it's done. But then this is going to be not the same, but we'll see. Let's see how it looks after I sew it together. Here is the finished girl. I do like the sleeves being uneven, especially because the darker green really sticks out. I think I want to do this sweater next, but I'm also thinking about doing a video tutorial for it, so I'm not really sure what I'm doing yet. But for today, I'll probably take the rest of the day off. Good morning, it's August 6th today. I started working on this half and half sweater last night. I ended up getting, today's Tuesday, so I ended up getting an Etsy order for a cardigan on Saturday, and I finished it Sunday night, and then I started working on this Monday night. But I want to do a video tutorial for it, I think, which by the time this vlog goes up, I will have already done the video tutorial if I do end up doing it, so like you'll already see that on my channel. So if I do a video tutorial, I will just end up making half of this, so I'll just do one body panel and one sleeve, and then save another body panel and another sleeve for the video tutorial. I'm running a bit low on the purple, but that's okay because I have backup of the same color. But if I run low on these two guys, that's when it's over for me. I just finished this sweater yesterday and finished making and editing the video tutorial. It's already up on my channel. Today's the 8th. I'm going to start working on the fall cardigan now. I got pretty lucky with this sweater, especially with the navy, because it was almost running out and I was going to be so mad if I had to buy another one, because the whole point is to use up my yarn and not be buying new yarn. But I made it. It was so lucky. This is what I'm working on now with a burnt orange and maroon and a teal. This maroon color, I got it for Christmas last year. It's not good yarn. It's really hard to work with. It's just really stiff. It doesn't feel that bad, so like if it felt really scratchy or something, I wouldn't put it in a sweater or anything. I would just like maybe use it for a stuffed animal or something, or like a pumpkin. It's not bad feeling wise, it's just like it's so hard to work with. These other two are nice and soft though. This is actually from the dollar store, and the dollar store like it's yarn that you can get at Dollar Tree. It's actually Premier brand, which is such a nice brand of yarn. And then this is Pound of Love. Update, I just opened a new one of these maroons and it feels a lot better. That's so weird. This is the brand, I think it's a Michael's brand. And I actually have a couple more in here. This was a Start Do a Blanket because when I started using this yarn, like when I first got it last year, I just didn't know what to do with it because I really just didn't like it that much. So it's weird that like just one of the skeins feels nice and soft and like flexible like the other yarns that I use. These ones don't really feel like that. I mean, it's hard to tell until I start using them, but now I'm like curious. Now I'm not sure if I should unravel this one and use the softer skein just so it kind of matches more, because it's like this is like a little bit bulkier than this, so it's like weird, and then on this one it doesn't feel like that, so I don't know. I decided to switch it to the softer one, and also decided to do 2 rows instead of the 3. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with the like this yarn. Maybe I'll make it into a pumpkin. I don't want to just throw it away because I don't want to waste yarn, but it's not fun to work with. It's the same day and I just finished this. Don't ask me how I made a whole cardigan in one day. Actually, it's let me see, 12:30. It's a little after midnight, so it is kind of the next day. But I think the colors came out really nice. It's a size large. I still have quite a lot of this yarn left, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that yet. No plans yet. And I used some of the other orange from the cardigan that I took apart that was never finished because there's never enough yarn in like the shade of orange. So I used that to make some of these beginnings of pumpkins that I will sew onto the sweater vest, which is what I'm gonna make next. Except I do have an Etsy order for another candy corn cardigan. I think in this vlog I've gotten 3 or 4 orders for that. And I'm going to be working on that for a couple days because it's a 2X, so that takes me a while to work on. And then I will be coming back to this and making hopefully a couple of sweater vests, brown sweater vests with these orange pumpkins, and obviously the half stems. I don't know if I'm going to do green or brown stems yet. It's the 13th now. I just made these 2 things. Well, I made these yesterday. This is like a hood, and obviously that's a sweater vest. So right now I'm going to wait for my hair to dry because I just showered so that I can take cute pictures of these things, especially this will need like a selfie to really show what it is. And then I want to do a TikTok showing like different outfits that could work with this sweater vest, so I'm going to be doing that later. But while my hair dries, in the meantime, I think I'm going to use that extra burnt orange that I had left to make this in a fox version. Also, I followed a written pattern for this, which, you know, if you watch my videos, you might know that I usually don't like to use written patterns because I can't really read them that well. I'm more of a visual learner, but it ended up fine because it was an easier pattern than it seems. So I think I could just make a fox one now, and I will link the written pattern in the description. I'll link everything in the description of how I learn these things. And I have to make more of this same sweater vest because I want to keep one, and I want to bring them to craft fairs, and I want to have them available on my Etsy shop. So I'm going to make one more for craft fairs and then just have it like so you can choose the size on my Etsy shop and be made to order. But I'm going to focus on that a little bit later. For now, I'm going to focus on the fox hat, and then I've gotten a lot of scrap yarn out of the way. Now I'll start working on my next scrap yarn sweater. I'm filming my TikTok now, but I also want to take the Instagram pictures in this outfit, I think. So hot from filming, but I just wanted to show the fox hood that I made, and like obviously how the hood is supposed to look in general. How cute. Now I'm going to take a break and have dinner. I'm so hungry. I don't even know what time it is. What am I doing next? Scrap yarn sweater? Okay, so I'm gonna be doing that later tonight. Then tomorrow I have to work on Etsy order. I haven't put a single completed project from this vlog away into a bag. Look at that pile. But we do have a craft fair this Saturday, the 17th. So it just makes more sense for me to find an empty bag amongst the pile of bags down there on Friday, when we are going to be bringing the bags to the front door anyway. So they will be put away on Friday. Oh, and my sister also said that it would be a good idea to make the bear hood and add a scarf like the Grateful Dead bears. We actually have a Grateful Dead event. I don't actually really know what it is, but they were calling for vendors, so we are going. And my sister has the Grateful Dead bears in tie-dye form. I'll insert a picture of that because it's really cool. So she said for that I should make the bear with the scarf. So I think I'm going to do that in blue because the blue bear has yellow scarf. And this is a spare yellow that I'm not doing anything with, I don't think. Otherwise, I think I'm doing really good with using up the yarn that I have. This whole cubby can go into the scrap yarn blanket that I continuously do. My niece is learning to crochet with this yarn. Otherwise, I'm pretty much done with those purples. They're a little bit thicker than I like. This was a sweater and it's red heart, so it's not the best material. The scrap yarn blanket's in this corner right now with yarn on top to be added, and all the other yarn is going to be added. It's actually really huge, but it's just like never ending. I'm going to make another sweater vest and then save. Hopefully there's going to be more left over for like if someone orders it on Etsy. This is going to be a heart sweater, not in this video because this wasn't actually like yarn that I had that I need to be using. It's new. I bought it to make a heart sweater. So that's like not the purpose of this video. I never knew what to do with this blue because it was an accidental purchase, kind of. I won't go into it, but it's a red heart, so, and I only have one of them. So, I mean, I could do a bear hood with that too. Now the bear hoods are like giving me many opportunities. I have a little bit of black left, but that's fine because like you always need black for something. I think this has been very successful. My goal is not to empty these cubbies, of course. Like a lot of this stuff is like stuff that I have to keep on hand for Etsy related things. Like I can't remember if I've said it in this video or the last video. Like these things are making watermelon bucket hats. Those are continuously for sale on my Etsy shop. These are my Pride collection. Like those are always for sale. I can always use them. I really just want to get rid of these like things that don't have a purpose, have no project so far. But I also want to be as productive as possible for craft fair season. So like something like this cubby that I know I want to add those to the scrap yarn blanket. I'm not going to do that now while I have other projects going on that can be useful for craft fairs. And it is craft fair season. Okay, I also didn't finish the orange still. Now it's time to dive into the scrap caddy. I have a lot more brights than last time, but I think that that is still fine because I feel like a couple rows of muted or neutrals and then a row of bright can be fun. I've laid it out. These are most of them. I definitely want to do a sleeve cuff in this gray because it's so soft. I think I'm gonna do the bottom ribbing one body panel in this maroon and then the other in the burnt orange that I've left. I don't feel like getting up to get that because I did put it back into a cubby. So let's start with this. This is what I've accomplished today for the scrap yarn sweater. I actually did end up leaning into the colors and even started doing an intentional rainbow, but now that I'm looking at it, it's not even that obvious that I was doing a rainbow, which is good. Didn't want it to be obvious. But then I only had like one red / pink color, so I just put that there and then started the rainbow over and got up to green. But I think I'm only gonna do a rainbow / like very colorful and bright for one panel, and then the other panel I will make it more like my last scrap yarn blanket, which was more muted colors. and that way it will end up being kind of reversible and I can wear whichever side I want front. Right now I don't really have muted colors though. I guess that was kind of the problem and why I ended up going down this route, which is good. Like, I like the way it's turning out, but now I have to wait until I get more scraps to continue working on this. So obviously scrap yarn projects are always a very, very long-term project, so I'm definitely not going to finish it in this video. With that being said, I'm probably going to end the vlog here because I've accomplished all the projects that I wanted to accomplish in the realm of using all of my leftover yarn before buying new yarn. If you want to see the outcome of my scrap yarn sweater, then make sure you're subscribed because I do crochet diaries all the time. Not always in this format. Most of the time I just do it after I have completed a bunch of projects and then I just show them all at once. But I like to do this kind too, where I'm like showing the whole diary of like how long things are taking. And now my upcoming crochet goals are to put things back in stock on my Etsy shop because I let things like say they've run out of stock, just so I would have a chance to catch up. So I'm gonna be putting a lot of cardigans back in stock so people can buy them if they want. Making another sweater vest like I talked about, making more of those hoods. I have to make the heart sweater that I talked about before with the new yarn that's kind of like an orange pinkish. And then once things have slowed down, I will return to the scrap yarn sweater and also the scrap yarn blanket to get rid of like scrap yarn that I'm not using for anything else at all. Anyway, I feel more organized and I hope that this has motivated you to maybe use some of your yarn stock if you're a crocheter, or if you were just checking out this video to like see if you're interested in crochet. Then I hope I inspired you to start a new project or start learning. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.